Oh, yes.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And in this nice calming voice, we'll be doing the weekend workout.
We do hope that this is calming, rejuvenating, and it's a raining day here. So what other than a perfect start to your day with some gentle movements? Our coffee's around the corner. We're fully caffeinated, but we'll also try to start nice and slow. For that, we'll start with the head, neck, those ribs, and Lauren will take over the feet. We have our balance aid in the back and are on the wall. So get one handy so that you too can practice our hips for mobility and strength. At the head, neck, we'll start with that gentle chin tuck in. Next, let's try lateral flexion first. The nose stays stationary and the ear approaches a shoulder. Then pull through center. Repeat on the other side. Ear to shoulder with the nose or face keeping forward. This time, do the same thing, but to return to center, contract the short side to return to center, and then relax the tension, and then laterally bend the other way. Contract the short side, pulling down for stability to center. Repeat one last time, ear to shoulder. Pull the short side down as to connect the jaw to the clavicle, return center, and then lastly, other side, pull down, finish tall. Extension flexion, forward and back now. Lightly, the chin tuck, crown of head high, chin towards the sternum. Then extension, chin towards the ceiling. Try to keep looking on the horizon. Return to the tall position. This time, we'll flex. You might already be there. Connect the jaw to the clavicles or sternum and pull down while letting yourself go towards up. Reset the tension, looking on the horizon. Repeating twice more, gentle flexion, chin towards sternum. Pull down on the front to extend the neck up. Return to level. One last time, the chin tuck, the slight down, try to keep those eyes looking forward, and pull down to go up, return to the horizon. The last move for me is the rotation. I'll open my stance for this one here and start very lightly. As you rotate our head, I'll be looking towards the right. Hands could be across the body as well. Rotate the head, then turn through the torso next. Then return the head to center. Let the torso follow. Repeat. Head, rotate to the other side. Torso turns, keep those hips facing forward. Let the head return to the front, the torso to follow. The last repetition here, it's the chin tuck rotation. Then turn through the torso next. Return the head to center, the body to follow, and last repetition, chin tuck rotate. Hips forward, turn the torso, return the head to center, and then sternum and chin line up. Take a breath, take a shake to Lauren for the feet.
For the feet, let's start with some walks today. So with a little bit of space in front of you, you could take your arms off your chest, point. All 5 toes come down, the ball of the foot, the heel. Gently pull onto that straight leg, bending your back toe. Z. Next, flick the floor, bring that leg through. All 5 toes, ball of foot, heel. Pull onto a straight leg, bend back toes, point, flick through. Toes, ball, heel. This time on that back foot, bend the toes. Then gently flex, rolling over them. Roll back to the ball of the foot, flick, and through. Last one. Pull onto that front leg, bend back toes, flex over, go back over, flick both feet underneath you. Now, let's push down, find a nice balance up here. Could you take a couple steps forward, staying high on your imaginary high heels? Knees straight, hips extended. Once you hit a wall, walk backwards back. Try to keep those hips pushing forward and staying underneath you as you walk back on your tiptoes, ending with your feet underneath, and then slowly descend, keeping those knees nice and straight all the way down. From there, we'll gently send our knees towards over our toes. keeping our shoulders stacked on top of our hips, and then press the hips through, squeeze the cheeks, pull the kneecaps up, repeat again. Knees towards over toes, drive through to tall. Push down to go up, finding that balance again. With straight knees, descend. Bend your knees, sending them over the toes. Stay the same height, find a rise on the balance points, hold. Could you sink a little lower? Now, could you stay the same height and put your heels down? Hello, ankles. Press through to tall. 2 more routines, knees over toes. Find a balance. Press up, control the down, and reverse it one last time. Up, knees forward, heels connect, hips extend. Give it a little shake. Let's take a second and do a little forward fold and then come back up to standing. With our head stacked on top, gently tuck the chin. Your belly button down is in concrete. That means your hips cannot go back. So think about folding over top of your hips, keeping them extended and flexing over your concrete block into your first forward fold. In this forward fold, hang out. Breathe. Maybe bend some knees and then straighten some knees. Bend one knee, bend the other. Oh yeah. Take one more second here, and then with nice straight legs, chin tucked, stack yourself all the way back on top of your concrete block. Head is last here to extend and to tall. Ha.
Loving those forward bends. Sideways bends are fun and safe and strong and hopefully enjoyable as well. For here, take the hands across the body with the shoulders in retraction. Lightly, like a teapot, tip. Set the shoulders, dip, but the ribs stay over the hips. Easy does it for now. Return to center. Same effort on the other side. A little bit of an up and over to the side flexion and return to the tall posture. Like the head neck before, pull down on the short side to return to center. Easy does it here as we laterally flex. Then connect that bottom rib to the hip and pull down on the short side to stabilize the movement to center. Then lightly flex the other way. Stay between 2 panes of glass and pull down on those abs on this side to bring the rib cage to center. Repeat one last time. Easy does it. Laterally flex. Zip down the short side. Feel those obliques engage as we pull the rib cage to tall. And last time, side bend, pull down and through center. One more movement, and this time on the diagonal. So with the hands across the body, squeeze the butt cheeks and rotate. The torso and the sternum or head can come with us here. Dip to the back left corner or right, but then pull down on the short side and pull back to our tall position. Then easy does it on the same diagonal, but to the front now. Dip, pull down on the front side to return tall, and then casually reset to center. The other diagonal now, same effort. Retract shoulders, gently rotate. Side bend to the back with very little effort, but then maximize that effort as we pull down to return to tall. Then the last time here, flex to that front diagonal, pulling down on the front side to bring us back up to tall, and then reset in the middle with our little shake. Move that rib cage, but add that strength and stability to come back home.
Let's do some hips, and then we'll get into some squatting and some planks next.
That's that.
So with a balance aid at your side, because we'll balance later, right now, it's about moving your hips.
Move those hips.
So grab a balance aid, the pros do too. Your inside leg is the leg closest to your balance aid. Stand tall on that leg. Point the other leg to the front. Gently rotate that leg open so your inseam faces up. Then stay connected to the floor and lightly rotate in. Femur internally rotates, pelvis, hips don't move. One more time. Rotate the leg open, try to keep that knee so straight, and then gently internally rotate. Bring the kneecap to center, pull a straight leg underneath. Next, keep that leg so straight and reaching to the basement as you send the leg to the side. Same thing, hips are level. Rotate the leg open in the socket, Then back to center. Internally rotate on the leg. One more time each way. Rotate it open. Rotate it in. And with it in, pull the inseams together. Inseams, inseams, inseams. Whoo, and then relax. Now a couple quarter circles. Leg comes to the front. Rotates open. Send the leg to the side, the hips forward. Now turn in on the leg. Connect the inseams. Next, reach, stay touching the floor to the side. Rotate the leg open. Send it to the front. Knee cap goes back forward. Pulls underneath. Squeeze both cheeks. Hold that for a second. Relax. Mobility, stability, burn.
We want both.
Same thing, other side. So tall, tall. Inside leg squeezed. Extend outside leg to the front. Rotate open, inseam up. Hips stay level. Internally rotate. Repeat again. Rotate the leg open. Rotate the leg closed. Kneecap goes forward. Straight leg returns underneath. Hips extend. Next, leg to the side. Same thing. Touch the floor with that foot. Rotate the leg open. Rotate the leg in. Nothing changed in this belt line hip holster. Repeat again. Rotate the leg open. Knee is straight. Rotate in. And then from there, connect your inseams. Tall, squeeze the cheeks. And then relax. Quarter circles, which reminds me of a piece of pie. Bring the leg to the front. Rotate it open. Send the leg to the side. Once there, in on the leg, pull together. Next, send the leg back out to the side. Rotate it open. Quarter circle to the front. Pull underneath. Grow tall. And then relax. Whew.
Awesome,
Excellent.
Lauren.
Planks and squats.
You got it. So let's return to the floor, planks and squat time, and we'll utilize Lauren's forward fold. As she said, we'll be stuck in concrete from the bottom of the ribs down and fold over top. Avoid the hip hinge back.
Are you planking then? Once you get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little warm
Just
up
checking.
and going in. So retract those shoulders, a gentle chin tuck. Then flex through the spine, gently as you go. Encourage the knees to stay straight. They could bend, of course, but keep them straight for additional challenge to keep those hips extended. Flexing forward, nice and controlled. Then I'll bend my knees to accommodate and find the floor with those hands. Really quick check-in on those wrists.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
We have the fingertips facing forward. Those blood donations are also facing forward, and the shoulders are being worn down to the hips, and at this moment together. With your head looking between the hands, let's do our first knuckle push-up. Get some of those cracks out of those knuckles as we press into the floor with straight elbows. In this drill, we're aiming to enhance that connection of the knuckle line or the metal carpal heads and the fingertips. So aim to turn fingertips and knuckles white with pressure to help save and strengthen the wrists. One more time, and then do it so much that you press the floor away and extend the hips through. Add the shake and wiggle. Elbow planks can be appropriate as you go through here as well, but Lauren's going to take this over now into that high planks position.
High plank. We'll start with the basics and then advance as we go. With our hands underneath our shoulders and our toes tucked, let's lift our hips and tip the tailbone to the ceiling. Now do the opposite. Scoop the tailbone under, tucking the hips, connecting the ribs and the hips, squeezing the butt cheeks, making sure though that your hips are the same height as those shoulders. Now without moving, isometrically pull your right hand to your right hip. And then do that on your left, pulling your left hand to your left hip. Now do that at the same time on both sides for 4. 3, are you still squeezing your cheeks and breathing? Oh, knees down. Whew. With the tailbone tipped towards the ceiling, let's gently push our hands forward, sending our hips back into our low squat position. Hang out here. Keep that anterior tip of the hips or the tailbone to the ceiling as you sink back. And then we'll pull ourselves through to that plank position again. And when you do so, tuck under. Pull through, tuck, squeezing the cheeks. Now this time, pull your right hand to your left hip without moving. And then pull your left hand to your right hip. And then pull both to opposite hips at the same time for 5, 4, and breathe and squeeze your butt. 2, lift the hips in the air to that A-frame down dog shape. Elefante. Stay here for a second. Breathe. Then slightly bend the knees as you walk the hands back so we can hinge to stand up to tall.
Hinges, that nice long spine with the hips back. Very important for our lifts, like our kettlebell swings, but so too are the squats. Squats though, the hips get low, like Lauren's showing right here. So open up to your favorite squat stance. There are so many variations here, but typically turned out at those hips. Breathe. Press with stiff legs, that isometric tension again as you press down and press out. Hopefully that turns on the core and the hip extenders here. Then stay still, but pull the heels together. Gently feel those adductor muscles of the hips, the side butt cheeks as well. Then continue to pull that we get towards our low squat. From this position, a little bit of an east and west, left and right shift of weight here. How do those ankles feel? How's it going? Return to center and then press through to stand tall. Did your body say, bring it on, that's my position, or hey, let's make a little adjustment. Return again to the floor as we pull the feet together, sitting towards our squats position. Hallmarks of that squat again, our knees over the toes. It's a good thing, keep building that habit, and hips that approach below the knees. This time we'll press away, finishing nice and tall, and I might have lied. We'll do that one last time here. Pull ourselves down. The white lie, the gentle lie,
it's allowed.
the gentle lie.
I do it all the time.
Maintain your breath. Maintain that nice upright upper body here and breathe. This is stressful. It could be stressful. This too shall pass because we'll press away and extend. And then I like those little wiggles together, that little shake out, and back to Lauren for progressing the plank.
We were supposed to see that part. Let's get back to the plank. This time we'll use our hinge to get out there. And we'll be adding on by taking away a foot to end up in a 3-point position. Here we go, chip chop on those hips. If you're in your hinge, which you should be, keep your feet where they are as you walk yourself out. It should be about shoulder width, maybe slightly wider, but not too wide. Next, tilt the tailbone to the ceiling and then tuck under, connecting the ribs and the hips. Start creating that tension by pulling the floor together underneath you. Next, if you'd like to, flick a foot pointing. Don't let those hips twist for 3, 2, place down, switch. No twisting or dipping, hold, 3, 2, switch again. Reach long out that foot, hold, and switch. Reach and hold. Foot comes down. Hold the tension for 2, 1. Lift the tailbone, sending the hips back. Walk your hands towards that hinge position, and then extend, pressing through to tally tall. Watch
out for those wally walls. We can squat on 2 feet like before.
We can't.
But also we can squat on a single foot.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, pull up to our little flamingo stance here. The leg that's elevated is compressing in the hip, and the other leg is tucking under. But then both hips start to tip back as we descend in that single leg squat. Breathe, hang out here, and as we stand up, it's that hip extension through. Great look there, Lauren. Repeating for 1 or 2 more, that favorite number 3. Easy does it, that knee over the toe. Lift this elevated leg higher to get lower. Then extend the hip through, finishing tall. One last time, that knee over the toe. The tailbone is reaching to the back. Then cramp those glutes, extend those hips, and perhaps test your balance on our demi-point or balls of foot raise. And then down. Some days are higher gravity than others. Check it out, no rush, and look at a stable object, as I think is why Lauren's turning around. Repeat, little flamingo. The leg that's elevated is compressing in the hip. The other leg is tucking under. But as we descend, we tip the tailbone back to descend in the lunge, in the squat, and then press the hip through, finishing nice and tall. Repeating again, knee towards over toe. Hang on to a balance aid if you need. The elevated leg, pull it up higher to get lower, and then press through, finishing with straight knees and squeeze butt cheeks. One more time, knee towards over toe. Hang out in the balance, pull up the other side, and then extend that hip through with power and control. And with a straight leg and a squeeze bum, find that little releve balance here. Toes, breathe, and slow down. That side is hard right now for me, but gently encourage it to go up with control and down with softness, grace, and that control over it again.
All right.
All right, limbo, Lauren, what's up?
Back out to the plank. We removed a foot. This time we'll keep our feet down, but we'll try to remove, actually, no, we're not. We're going to add on to that foot. We'll come to that one in a second. Let's do our forward fold this time. So standing tall, concrete, belly button down. Roll yourself forward. Hang out. Walking out to that plank, remember each additional challenge is a little bit harder than the last, and you can always stay with a regular plank. Right now we'll have those hips, feet in those hinge width positions. Pull ourselves into our plank. Next, flick the floor away just as we did last time with a foot. Now bring that knee towards the chest and hold, compressing in the socket. 2, 1, place it where you got it. Switch, flick, reach, pull the knee to the chest, holding. 2, 1, return. One more time each side. As you bring that knee to the chest, try to get it to touch. 2, 1, last switch here. Flick, compress. 3, 2, foot goes back where you got it. Tailbone lifts, hips go back. Walking to the forward fold position, and then we'll stack ourselves all the way up on tall. If you already picked your hinge, no problem, but just do one, not both. No hybrids here.
No hybrids.
Save that for the vampires.
How? Not vampires. How did you feel with that single leg squat? Might we progress it here? Use your balance aid, and I might have to do the same thing. So if I scooch over to the side, it's because this leg is challenging today, and we'll always work with safety in mind.
Scooch.
Start in that flamingo pose though. The standing leg is tucked under, the elevated leg is compressed in. Gently, of course, get down towards that single leg squat. Ideally, the knee stays in the same place now as we straighten that leg, pull it back underneath, and extend that hip through, finishing tall. That magic number 3, we have 2 more. We'll go knee towards over toe. The knee stays in the same place. Could you open up that external rotation in that leg, then pull under and extend the hip through. Final repetition, knee over toe. Lift it up higher if you can. Open, hold, return, extend that hip. Finishing tall, and maybe that little bit of balance. Straight knees, squeeze bums, up with control, and down with grace. Finish on 2 feet, and embrace that shake and wiggle. Same thing on the other side. I'll try it without that bar, but as I said, if I need it, I'm gonna use it. Knee towards over that toe, hike the hip of the elevated leg. Then keep the knee in the same position as we extend, and then pull and press through to the tall start. Return again. Pull up the elevated leg to go down on the standing, then extend on the elevated leg, pull under, press through. Final repetition, knee towards over the toe. Lift up the elevated leg, point those toes, bring them under, extend to tall, and then find that little balance. Maybe you can go a little higher than the last time, but again, always aim to return to the ground with that beautiful control. Exhibit Lauren. Shakes, wiggles. Yeah, somehow that gets the heart rate going. And planking again.
All right, we took away our feet. This time our feet are gonna stay heavy and we're gonna try to do we will be trying to do a 3-point plank, removing a hand. No twisting or dipping. Here we go. This is where I definitely like to start my feet in my hinge position. No wider though, then you get cheaty pants on. Hip hinge. Walk yourself out. Hold your plank. Next, slowly transfer your weight So your cheeks are tucked. Slowly transfer your weight so you start stacking a wrist underneath a shoulder. Could you remove that other hand for 3 or have a light touch 2? Place down, switch. Slowly stack. Light hand on the floor or no hand. One more time each side. Check in though, be honest. Are your hips staying square to the floor? Are your shoulders staying square to the floor? One more time each side. No point in rotating open, then it's not a plank. Hold. Back to center. Tailbone tips to the ceiling. Push back via that hinge. Load up your hamstrings and butt cheeks and press through to tall. Wally, getting in the way today.
I know. Let's return to the floor for our last effort of our single leg squat. No rules, maybe even no hands. Get down to the floor anyhow that works for you so that you're sitting nice and tall. I'll scooch forward just a little bit. Scooch. And right here, let's have a bent leg. Heavy foot. From this position, I can't personally. Can you find the way to get onto that front leg from here? What would it take? The compression word that Lauren shared with us. Maybe use a little assistance here. And if you can get up, take away the base. Taking away the base of support on your balancing leg is easier. It's harder when you take away the other one. Let's try that 1 or 2 more times here as we sit tall. Look to pull yourself onto that front leg, and with assistance, with some fists out the back, taking away that hand is easy, and then taking away the other leg requires a lot of that work on the other side of the core. Return. Let's do that one last time here. We'll sit tall. This side's a little bit easier, but you can use a little momentum maybe. Oh, might not happen today, so let's use those fists, support ourselves down low, perhaps take away a base of support, and then maybe the other, and down. Those quaddies. And one last time, hang out, and then easy does it on the down. I like working those positions that I am capable of, being the top to the bottom. Working that bottom is very tough, but gently get it in there every now and then. Now that we're down here though, Lauren, I think it's time to finish with a split.
Time to finish in your splits. Let's start in our middle splits. Ready for this? Full. Yeah. So your safe middle splits, either toes pointed or feet flexed. Choose one, not both. Light grip in front. Maybe you need to move those cheeks a little bit out of the way to have that slight anterior tip of the hips and to sit on those femur bones. With our heart chest leaning forward, gripped lightly on the floor, tuck your chin. Next, let's think about flexing our rib cage. So without moving that low back or pelvis, without directing the energy from our head and neck, think about keeping the blades together and rounding through that upper back. Next, you will be extending that chest or heart to the front of the room. As you do that, where's your head, neck? Did you lead with it? Or did you keep it nice and tucked? Let's repeat. Light flex around to the rib cage. Try to keep those blades together so it actually comes from the spine. And then gently extend, keeping the chin tucked, driving that T-spine forward. And then lightly relax. Great. Let's take a single leg, take a second off that rib cage, take a single leg, and can you roll the leg into internal rotation or hiding that inseam? It's the big bone here trying to do it, not the ankle. Gently rotate the leg open, and can you get that upper inseam to face the ceiling? One more time each way. Roll that leg in, then roll it open. Let's try to leave it as open as we can and do the same thing on the other side. Gently try to roll the leg in, same or different. Rotate it open. One more time each way. As you do that again, nothing's really changing. Just the leg in the socket in, just the leg in the socket open. Now, with both legs open, does that give you a little bit more room to scooch? Oh my goodness, we've used that word a lot today.
I think I just used it once.
You use it twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, let's add a light side bend here. So with that inside arm anchored on the leg, reach the other arm up and over or across your chest and do a light extension or reach of that rib cage. Now keep that top shoulder low if the arm is reaching, and breathe. Take a nice breath in, filling the cage, opening up the side, and exhale. And maybe you can do one more, reaching a little further. And then on this one, pull yourself, just as we did earlier, up to tall. So use those muscles. One more time on the other side. Side bend, flexing over. Maybe add that arm reach, but keep the shoulder low out of your ear. Breathe into that cage. Reach a little further. Breathe again. And then use those long muscles to pull yourself back up. Great. One more gentle pancake forward. What that means is the tailbone's still tipped to the ceiling. We're trying to keep our spine long as we walk ourselves forward. Try to keep those kneecaps pointing to the ceiling, so don't let those legs roll in with you right now as you forward. And then could you use the muscles instead of the hands? Could you push or pull yourself back up to tall? Excellent.
From here, let's enjoy one last forward fold to stand to tall. So anyhow that's available for you, get to those hands and knees. Lauren's cued that tailbone tip. So tip that tailbone to the ceiling, and we'll push the floor forward, push the floor back through the feet, and then enjoy that down dog or house roof shape. Then press through the hands like we do in those crawling shapes as you return the hands to the feet. Safely stiffen the knees and stack the spine from the bottom to the top and pull the rib cage down to extend to tall. Shakes, wiggles, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday or any other day that you decide to stream this from the archive. Thank you for joining us here live at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings, where we have fun in our weekend workout as we play with our strength. Sometimes you crawl, oftentimes you balance, sometimes you make animal shapes or dances, and always we have fun training with you, our patrons, our members, and you YouTubers at large.
And you.
And me, and you.
Thanks for joining us at Bars and Bells here. The schedule begins next week again with our bell class, followed by our bar on Thursday. Join us. Until then, take care, stay strong, and let's train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. 200 people.